So, over the last decade, we have learned that Xbox is incapable of making good quality games consistently, and they are incapable of keeping studios open. It's okay. I've accepted that. Except, in return of accepting it, I just need them to at least lie to me in a good, consistent, quality way. If they just lie to their audience in a quality, consistent way, it would be fine. But they can't even do that. What do I mean by this? Well, Gears of War 4 and Gears 5, it's not Gears of War 5, it is Gears 5. They're back in 2019, they were going in a trend of rebellion and wokeness where they had to be different. And they were pulling out all the stops to make Gears 5 different. So Gears 5, not Gears of War 5, uh, it has had its story shelved. So you might have seen the news of Gears of War uh, Eday, and it's telling the story of Eday, essentially. And Gears of War 5 is not mentioned at all. That story had a cliffhanger, not mentioned at all. Why is this? Well, in this video, I'm going to go into what might have happened, what might be the reason why they're doing this, and it's actually funny. It just shows the leadership at Microsoft. It's not that they can't even make games, but they can't even get the stories in the games that they are making right. They have to switch it up. So, and they've done this before. Gears of War isn't the only example. So I'm going to bring up an article here from Kotaku, and let's read along to this. Xbox says it hasn't abandoned Gears 4 5 storyline and characters. The coalition says it couldn't pass up on the chance to tell the origin of Marcus and Dom in Gears of War Eday. So you made Gears of War 4, and you made Gears of War 5, but the whole time you're making those games, you just had this itch to make a prequel, which we've already got with Gears of War Judgment. No, there was a reason why you made this game, Gears of War Eday. So, Gears of War Eday is the first entry in the franchise since 2020. Well, since 2019. And it's a prequel telling the origins of Marcus and Dom, the main character seen in the first 3 games. For folks wanting a resolution to the big cliffhanger ending of Gears 5, it sounds like Xbox will get around to it, one day. So during Xbox's big showcase event, which is part of the larger not E3 Summer Game Fest Bonanza, the coalition announced Gears of War game, the next Gears of War game. Oh my gosh. You can't trust these Kotaku articles, either that or I'm blind. However, it's not Gear 6, but rather a prequel from the franchise. Some worried that the shifts means Xbox had abandoned the storyline and characters seen in Gears of War 4 and 5. However, the developers say that's not the case. So I'll say that again. Some worried that the shift means Xbox has abandoned the storyline seen in Gears of War 4 and 5. Who are these people? Who are these people who are worried about the Gears of War 5 and the Gears of War 4 storyline? I don't know these people. Who that is, comment down below if that's you, because it's definitely not me. But they say that the coalition says that is not the case. So yeah, Xbox, the coalition, they're saying it's not the case. They have not abandoned it, because apparently so many fans are worried about the Gears of War 4 and 5 storyline, which I do not believe is true. And there's a reason. So there's a reason why they are doing this, all right? We're going to take a look at the Steam charts for Gears 5, guys. Going over to the Gears Steam charts, the Gears 5 Steam charts. All right, let me pull this bad boy up here. Right now, there's 372 players. The 24-hour peak was 600. The all-time peak was only 10,000 on September 11th. Interesting. Only 10,000 was the all-time peak 5 years ago when the game first launched. So I brought this chart down here to the launch of the game. We have September of 2019. And it's like my YouTube, this graph looks like my YouTube retention rate. It starts high and instantly drops. Oh my gosh. It's not even, we're only in November and we're only in November and the numbers are what they look like now. Like, essentially, this game died in a month or less and has the player base of what it has now. Then it had a little spike, and then, yeah, stayed at around 300 to 400, spike up around April of 2020. April of 2020, the spike happened. That was during the virus. And then it drops back down. The spike, if I can get the number, I think it was 5,000, drops back down, and it is to where we are today. So the retention for this game is abysmal. The retention for this game was abysmal. Also, I don't think it sold that well. So you may be wondering, Wolf Guy, what happened? I thought Gears 5 was like Xbox's big IP other than Halo. Well, what happened was the game was shit. It was shit. I actually played that game, not April of 2020, but I played it June 2020. That game was so dog shit. And why they're making Gears of War Eday is because they saw that the game people did not like, and also, oh, I'll just show the video. I'm not even gonna tell you the other reason. The one reason is obviously because people didn't like the game. It had horrible retention, and I don't think it sold very well. That's the obvious reason. I'm gonna show you a video right now, and this is the other reason why the game sold, or why they're making Eday instead of continuing the storyline. Let's watch this video right here. Horrible.
We are a complete being, connected, immortal. You had a choice, and you squandered it. Alive or dead, you belong to us.
Who will she save? Well, she was a part of the Black Lives Matter movement, so of course she saved. Well, I don't even know his name. I don't even know his name. And bye-bye, Marcus's son.
Now die with it.
So, yeah, I'm sure some of you played this game and you remember this part. They cannot continue Gear 6 when they had an ending like that, because how can you continue the story? You have JD, who is Marcus's son, and then you have the other guy. I honestly don't even know the other guy's name because these characters are so forgettable. I had to research Kate's name because I forgot her name already. The game was just so forgettable. So when you give a decision like this, where two of the main characters, you choose who lives and who dies, what are you going to do for Gear 6? You have to create a whole story where one of the characters is there and the other isn't. What do you do? Because, like, you would just have to, like, copy and paste the character that you chose to live in your playthrough. But you can't do that because JD and Jed, whatever his name is, they're completely different characters and they play completely different roles in the narrative. So I was actually, when I played this game and I was like, oh wow, they just did that, I was actually really curious, how are they going to do this? Because I know there are a lot of games out there like Mass Effect, Witcher, where they let you make decisions and then it plays into the next game. But this was so, like, this isn't an RPG. This is a single player FPS with multiplayer, but talking about the death scene here. This is for the single player story, linear story. What are they going to do? How will they figure this out then with the character? So I was curious for Gear 6. Well, guess what? They pulled a Halo Infinite on us. And this is what I'm going to get into next. They have done this before, guys. Let's not forget Halo. Halo 5 ends with Cortana being the baddie, the big baddie, with her forerunners, not forerunners, with her guardians taking over the galaxy, and then you team up with Dr. Halsey, Spartan Locke, and the rest of the UNSC. So I was like, oh, what's gonna happen next? Then they give us Halo Infinite, and they're like, oh, we don't know. You find an audio log on the ring that says Spartan Locke went somewhere to kill some rebels, and yeah, you're fighting the Banished. What? There was a battle and against the Banished. Cortana, she lost to the Banished too, and you're on the Halo ring now trying to fight the Banished. What? And they just did this with Gears now. At least it's just a prequel. It's not, they're not taking a totally different direction from the story, but they're just like, how about, all right, so it's October 2019. Our game is dead. We need to start working on the next Gears game. What should we do? How about we just work on the next Gears story in like 2026? Yeah, let's do that. 2026, let's work on the next Gear story. And we'll just, right now, let's just make a prequel. That's what they decided to do, because they know this is a mess. They know nobody cares. I didn't even know Kate's name. I had to research it. I didn't forget the storyline of Gears 5 completely. It's something like Kate's mom was the daughter of the Locust Queen. So she revives her mother, but her mother is a part of the Swarm, which is like the Locust. I thought it was the Horde, it's the Swarm. And so her mother's actually bad. So the whole story of Gears 5, don't call it Gears of War 5, call it Gears 5, with the leading female character, because back then Xbox is still woke, but we had to have a lead female character. The whole story is helping Kate free her evil mom, and right when she frees her mom takes over the world and kills JD or the other dude, depending on if you support Black Lives Matters or not. And I just remember watching that scene of one of them dying and thinking, this is all your fault. Also, you threw a knife at her tentacle. Who knows if she would have killed them anyway? She might not have, but you threw a knife at her tentacle, so then she killed one of your friends. Like, Gears 5, the story, Kate, it was just, I could not stand that. I could not stand Kate. I just couldn't. So yeah, so this is the end of the video, guys. They are doing this because they had nowhere else to go because of the storyline. Gears 5 was trash. The story was trash. No one played it. No one bought it. The retention rate was awful. So now they're making nostalgia bait, is essentially what they're doing. They're making nostalgia bait. Yeah, comment down below what you guys think. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.